Good afternoon, and thank you for signing in again to Expansion of Consciousness. We're going to be bringing you a very, very special guest this evening, Nico Lagan. This guy is loaded with a lot of talent, a lot of spirit, but more importantly, he has a message for men. He has a message for those who are needing to be coached, for those who are needing that extra step, that extra drive. We're going to talk about a little of everything tonight. We'll talk about a little psychedelics. We're going to talk about a little, purpose without meaning in men's life. I mean, you name it. Nico and I will discuss it. He's a fellow podcaster. He's an entrepreneur. Also, Nico is an author as well. So we'll get into all of that. But without any further ado, let me just tell you a little bit about Nico. Nico Lagan is an entrepreneur, men's coach, Muay Thai instructor, author, and the host of his controversial podcast, The Nico Lagan Show. He's an avid meditator and believes in the power of psychedelics like Ayahusca and psilocybin mushroom. Nico believes in the connection between the mind, body, and spirit. They're all one, and one should be treated as all when you talk about the mind, the body, and the spirit. But through meditation and visualization and self-hypnosis, anyone can strengthen this connection if you try all of those. Nico finished writing his first book entitled Purpose. Okay? Purpose, guys. How following your life, how following your personal legend is the answer to your midlife crisis. Aiming at men between the ages of 35 and 45 who already possess the 5 virtues of a man: provider, protector, courage, temperance, and faith. Now, facing an existential crisis referred to by many as midlife crisis, these men are realizing that they are one day going to die. Begging the question, is there something more than this daily grind? So Nico's book explains what that's all about and how the solution is to find your purpose. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Nico on. There he is. Nico, what's going on, my man?
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing much. I am excited to have you here. It's a different twist from our audience, but we still know that you do meditation. We still know that you visualize, and we still know you understand hypnosis and psychedelics. So we're going to have a great conversation on top of everything else that you do, my brother.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I guess one of the first things I want to talk to you about, I was reading your bio, and it's a lot of interesting things that you have been involved with, things that you're currently doing right now. And one of the things that stood out to me is, you're basically putting a statement out there. I help young men become good men, and good men become great men. Can you talk to me about that a little bit? And of course, I want to understand how all this started for you.
Well, that's probably the easiest way to explain it. Is I grew up without a father. When I was around 14 years old, my parents got divorced. My father left. I saw him a handful of time after he left and before he died, actually. And let's just say that the lack of father figure sent me on a journey where, as men, we look for mentors. Naturally,
Right.
we do it. It's unconsciously at that age, I did not know, but we always are looking, we always are searching. And yeah, the search for a mentor, for a father figure, led me through drugs, led me through addiction, led me through selling drugs, led me through quitting school, literally doing everything except getting caught and going to jail. That's, I would say, that's the only thing that I'm very grateful about, is that I did not get arrested. But all the stupid things that you can think of, I've done it. And it made me realize as I grew older that it was because of a lack of a father figure, because of I did not have somebody to teach me the ropes. And one of the things that I say all the time that people don't like to hear, but it's still a fact, that a single mother cannot teach a boy how to become a man, in the same way that a single father cannot teach his daughter how to become a woman. but it is their job to find people that can fill that role for them. They should know how to find people to help them. You know, the expression that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, this is something I strongly, strongly believe in. And yeah, this is what started it all. I want to do my best. I want to be, hopefully, because of technology now, it's easier for people to find mentors, at least to find people they can look up to. And hopefully I can help some young men out there, can help some good men become great, young men become good. And yeah, this is a summary of what actually happened.
So Nico, you're currently traveling the U.S. In an RV,
Yes, sir.
with your girlfriend and, and your rescue dog.
Yep.
Give me a little purpose behind this mission. This, the traveling. Obviously, we have a beautiful country we live in. We know
Hmm.
that, but
Yeah.
talk to me about that a little bit.
Uh, the dream started about 10 years ago, and I wanted to move to Costa Rica, which I went to see it, but met my ex-wife down there. So I ended up getting married, coming back to Canada, getting married. And even after I got divorced, the dream never died, right?
Right.
And a few years ago, when COVID happened in Canada, we got some really nasty lockdown where I was a sales engineer by trade. Like for 12 years, I was in front of customers day in, day out, selling high end telecommunication services. And all the, all our meetings went from face to face to Zoom. So I decided to leave the city, move to my investment house in the middle of nowhere, and I spent 2.5 years there developing my skills as a podcaster. I developed a brand, like an apparel brand. I developed coaching, and yeah, my girlfriend at the end, she moved in with me, and we decided to just leave because we did not like what the government did during COVID. We didn't like feeling like we were at their mercy, so we just said, you
Right.
know what, I can't control what they do, but I can control where I stay. So we decided to leave in order to find a place where we belong. So now we're just traveling, seeing what we like, and at the same time, I'm taking advantage of it because I do a lot of, all my podcasts are done face to face. I do a lot of street interviews. I do a lot of um, recording in live situations. So this is a perfect set. It's a perfect place. It's a perfect way to just travel. And between you and I, all of what I do is under my production company. So basically, my trip is paid for by, it's all on the books of one of the companies that I started. So
Right.
yeah, we're
And
having fun.
you're running all these businesses while you're on the
Yeah,
road. But let's
yeah,
talk about the Nico Lagan Show.
yeah.
And let's just get into that. Let's talk about how that was formulated. And I watched some of it. I'm like, okay, I love it.
Let's say there's no taboo there. Like I probably recorded, I'd say, about 150-ish podcasts over the past 2 years.
Uh-huh.
I tried all different type of subject to see what I felt good with. And yeah, this one I started about, what, 3 months ago, maybe. No, no, sorry, more than that, maybe 6 months ago. And yeah, I just meet people that I find inspiring. Like I've had the pleasure of sitting down with fighters that I used to watch fight. I'm a big fight fan. Like I've been
Okay.
around fighters my whole life,
Right.
and I got the chance to sit down with guys that I used to watch fight 10 years ago in the UFC. Like it's just incredible. I'm meeting so many cool people, and yeah, it's really all about finding guests that live their purpose, that live their life in a way that it was theirs. Because the biggest regret, and most people don't know this, but the biggest regret of the dying is that they did not live the life they wanted to live. They live their life as per others' expectations. And I absolutely refuse to do that. I've never done that my whole life, and I'm not going to start now.
Well, I think
So
it's cool.
well, I got balls. If there's one thing I have is I'm all heart, I'm all balls. If I want something, I'm gonna do what it needs to happen in order to make it a reality. But yeah, all the people I talk to are all interesting people in a way that they don't live typical life, but they're extremely successful. Most of them are entrepreneurs. They've been very successful at what they do, but they do have opinions that might not be mainstream. Well, not mainstream anymore, at least.
Well, let's talk about your book for a little while. And I had a little error a minute ago, was trying to share your book, but let's talk about the book Purpose.
Yeah, man.
And you know, give us enlighten the audience about this book. Obviously, we've heard an incredible amount of purpose that you've had, and then currently your adventures right now. But tell us a little bit about the book, and what can the viewers look forward to?
Well, when I was in isolations, I actually spent a lot of time by myself thinking about my life, what I wanted, where I was going. And it kind of struck me because most of the people that have careers, that have families, that have just people they need to provide for, we tend to get stuck in a situation where we just do work, we just work. So for years upon years, 10, 15 years, we're grinding, we're grinding, we're grinding, we're just doing what needs to be done. And then, the midlife crisis, we've made a big, we've turned it into a joke. We really are making fun of men going through their midlife crisis, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
to me, it's, like anything, in my opinion, pain is the greatest teacher. So instead of getting fat, losing your hair, trying to go after younger women and divorcing and looking for sports car, no, but that's how most people deal with it, right? But
Yes,
at
yes,
the end of the day, what's going on is it's a existential crisis. You are wondering, you realize that you don't have that much time left. Like, I'm 40 years old, so basically I'm halfway there.
yes.
What It did not hit me as hard as it does other people, because I've always lived my life the way I wanted to live it. I've never let other people tell me what I can and cannot do. I
Yes.
will say what I can and cannot do. But when you're 40 and you've been grinding for so long, you've been a good man, you're a provider, you've been doing what you were supposed to do, it's time to think about yourself. To me, a good man is selfless. He will put his families first. He will put the the needs of his family first. But when you get 35 to 45, it's okay to become selfish. You've been selfless for so long. It's time to take the time to get to know you again. Because a lot of us, I don't know for you, maybe I can ask you the question. When you look in the mirror in the morning, do you see how you feel like? Like, what your exterior is showing you, is it how you feel inside?
Well, I mean, for me, I don't look at exterior. I only see light. So, and secondly, I've removed ego a long time ago. And
There you
ego
go.
allows us to recognize things. It categorizes the way
Hmm.
we see each other, or we see things. So I got some very interesting books to throw at you, that talks about the death of the human ego,
Hmm.
and the conversation we're going to have in the middle in a minute about psychedelics.
Hmm.
Um, that sort of helped me come face to face with my ego. So to answer your question, when I look in a mirror, I see love, and I see light and success. I just look at it a little bit differently.
But this is the way you should look at it. But the
Yeah,
average person does not look at it like that.
they
The
don't.
average No, the average person looks at them and look at themselves in the mirror, and they're like, wow, I got old. Because that's not how
Yeah.
they feel on the inside. And this, to me, is the perfect indication that you have spent too much time not thinking about yourself. So the whole book, to quite frankly, is how to become selfless, how you were selfless, how to become selfish in order to
Yes.
become selfless again. Because the biggest gift you can give people is yourself, but your true self, what you actually are, not what you think you are, but what you were actually put here to do. And that's the purpose. That's the whole point of the book, is to help you find what your purpose is and grow some balls to actually go after it, because that's the hard part.
Wow. Now, I want the audience to do a research. You're listening to the expansion of consciousness, and I have Nico Lagan here with me today. And the book Purpose. Look at the link below, lnk.bio/Nico Lagan. Hit that link, folks. It gives you a number of his social media platforms that he's on. Also, it connects you directly to his website. Press this link, please, and go check out Nico. Nico has an awesome podcast as well. but we're gonna get into some of the real cool stuff right now. And this is what my viewers want to know about you, Nico. Okay, so you're an avid meditator.
Mhm.
Let's talk about that a little bit. You know, I'm a transcendental meditator. I do TM, and the things I experience are quite. I mean, they're awesome. They're life changing every single day. I experience something different in meditation. So you're an avid meditator. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I probably I don't follow regular meditation techniques. I've invented my own over the years because I've been at it for more than 10 years now.
Uh-huh.
And it depends what time of day it is, because I do visualization and self-hypnosis twice a day.
Mm,
I meditate to bring me back to center after the gym 6 7 times a week. There's type of meditation that I do is when I ask questions. I found out last year on an ayahuasca
yeah.
trip that we all have that capability. It's just that some of us actually access it, some people don't. But I have found a way to get answers to all of my questions.
Well,
I just need to put them out there and be patient. I always obtain questions. I always obtain the answers. But yeah, it depends. It really, really depends if what I'm doing.
so you're saying that when you're in deep meditation or you're in the self hypnosis session, either
Mhm,
one, are you saying once you reach a level of transcendence, meaning that you're just at a level of peace or
mhm.
bliss, that you're able to, at that point, ask a question or command a manifestation, either one?
Oh, I don't need to reach anything. I just need to close my eyes to do it.
Okay.
I've been doing it for so long that it's just I've been doing it every day for the past year and a half since the ayahuasca plant showed me how to do it. I've been doing it every day. But
Wow.
but
Wow.
this is why I do between you and I and whoever is listening. This
Yes.
is the reason why I do psychedelics, is because it expands my meditation practice. There's some levels of vibration that I've achieved through meditation a few times in my life, let's say 5 or 6 times maximum. And I never understood what they were until one of my first ayahuasca ceremony. I spent maybe in my whole life 15 minutes, 20 minutes in that state of vibration, but
Mhm.
yet my in ayahuasca my second trip was 4 hours of that same feeling that is ever so eluding. But to me, that's all it is. Ayahuasca has helped me so much on my visualization practice. It always gives me tricks on how to enhance my vibration, how to get access to different part of my psyche. And the expression that you are a reflection of the universe. If you understand yourself, you'll understand the universe. This is why I do psychedelics, because I want to understand myself. And if you know in the Bible it says that we were made in the image of God. That means that if I was made in the image of God, that means I'm part of God. God's part of me, so that I am God. So those are all the type of things I do ayahuasca for, or psychedelics, because I like to connect with the outside world that I don't necessarily get naturally, or at least I get glimpses of them through meditation.
But see, you and I speak the same language, so I'm gonna dig deeper. I want to know more, and because I know there
Absolutely.
is more.
Of course there is.
So ayahuasca, ayahuasca, you're at some sort of shaman ceremony,
Mhm.
or you're somewhere,
Yeah,
and
man.
you first drink the drink. Let's talk
Mhm.
about this. Let's talk about this. You first drink it, takes you about 15-20 minutes. Then what?
I would start before that, because one of the things that I don't necessarily like with the way that people do psychedelics today,
Mhm.
like it doesn't matter if it's psilocybin mushroom, magic mushrooms, LSD, or ayahuasca. Well, ayahuasca is kind of different because it's not a
Yeah.
street drug. Like, you can't find that at your corner. Like, your dealer doesn't have that.
Right.
So I find that we mistreat psychedelics like they're party drugs. And I used to do that throughout my teens. I've done a lot of psychedelics, but I did not treat them with the respect that they deserved. So normally an ayahuasca trip will start 2 weeks prior to the ceremony. Well, you need to meet the shaman first. because he doesn't take anybody, just about anybody. He needs
Exactly.
to make, yeah, he needs to make sure that you're in a proper state of mind, that you have a purpose, you have a reason, you have a reason to be there. And normally you need to stop for 2 weeks prior. You need to stop coffee. You need to basically turn your diet into a vegan diet. You
Hmm.
have to stop social media, stop movies, stop really the outside world. You kind of
You don't
need to
want any
disconnect.
interference
Mhm.
when you actually on your trip. So you don't want
Yep,
to have those outside things in. Yeah, gotcha.
absolutely. So once you get there, he normally does it's normally a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Uh-huh.
So you get there on the Friday, a couple hours before the first ceremony. It's normally 7 p.m. There's 6, 12 people. He probably has 4 helpers with him on top, like plus his wife. And yeah, you sit in silence, your candlelight. His place is absolutely beautiful. And where I'm from in Canada, it's legal. Like there's certain churches that are allowed to import ayahuasca out of Peru or Brazil. So his ceremonies are 100% legal. And yeah, you sit there, and I'm used to it now. I've done it about 12 times with him. So it's not 15-20 minutes for me. It's more 2 hours. It takes me a long time for the effect of ayahuasca to hit. Well, most drugs take me a long time, but normally 45 minutes you'll start feeling something. And the ceremony is normally divided into 3 servings. So you have your first one's good. Let's call the first one the biggest dose. Let's say it's 100%, right?
Hmm.
Then they're going to wait about an hour and a half after giving it to you. Normally most people have changed their consciousness for at least 45 minutes by then. And he swings again, and he offers it to you. You don't have to take it, obviously, but he offers you 50% of the first dose. And then an hour after that, he gives you 25% of the first dose. So you do 1.75, like you do 175% dose basically.
Okay.
And it the feeling is very hard to describe, because it's one of those, like most psychedelics, it's one of those things that you never know what you're getting into. I've
Yeah.
been doing this for years, and every single time I will be scared shitless before. I'm like, oh man, as soon as I drink it, I'm like, ah, what did I get myself into again? It's always, it's never regret, but it's, if there's one thing that psychedelics have taught me, is that we don't control much. Outside of our emotion, actions, and our reactions, we control nothing. And
Right.
ayahuasca, magic mushrooms are the perfect example. Once you consume them,
Yeah.
what's going to happen to you does not belong to you anymore. All you can do is accept that you're not in control, and let it happen, and hopefully it's a good ride. Hopefully you enjoy what you're going through.
And to piggyback off of that, for the writing I did for my book that'll be out here soon, I tested mushrooms,
Yep.
and without going through that entire thing, everything you said was absolutely correct. But I had a monitor that was with me when
Mm,
I
yeah.
did mine, and it almost felt like astral projecting because my body
Of
started to
course.
tremble, and I could feel my astral body
Mhm.
disconnecting from my avatar.
100%.
And yeah, and once that happened, I just it just seems like I disconnected, and then I was able to have all these 4K. I'm talking about as vivid as you could ever imagine. And I don't want to paint some grand picture, but it was like 4K conversations I was having with people that I had had conversations with a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Man, I was so close to these people's face when I was talking to them, and we all looked like we were what 4 or 5 dimensional. I mean, it was, and we were just talking. It was so clear. And the one thing I remember was I was observing my own ego. It appeared. I mean, I was
Mhm.
talking absolutely crazy to somebody, and it made me feel bad. It made me feel bad as the observer watching me talk. And I was thinking about a book I was reading that talked about coming face to face with your human ego and how to observe it, and then how to kill it, how to destroy it. So that, short and simple, that was my experience with it. And I can just tell anybody out there who's watching ayahuasca and psilocybin and all that mushroom, that's real. Those items are real, and they can take you to a place of healing if you use it for the right purpose.
It's one of the things that there's a lifelong project, or a lifelong. I've been thinking about this for a long time now, and when my businesses pick up and I can just give them away, I don't have to deal with them anymore. This is the next thing I'm going to work on. But there is, I'd like to help veterans. I'd like to help veterans with their PTSD while providing them ayahuasca or psilocybin in order for
Yeah,
them to face those demons. Because
yeah,
one of the things that's misunderstood about PTSD and what psilocybin and, well, psychedelics as a whole allow you to do is, when somebody has PTSD, that means that they'll never be able to face what scares them and what creates their PTSD session, because the body goes into fight or flight. So your brain basically disconnects and you're reliving the memory without your brain being active. So
correct.
your reptilian brain is just firing, 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 and you have no way of controlling what's going on, nor do you have a way to face it with intelligence, looking at it and say, holy shit, okay. And as we say, the death of the ego, technically, psychedelics destroy it, it kind of kills the connection of your prefrontal cortex, where all your information is getting filtered through. It just removes it. You see how the brain works under an MRI. It's absolutely astonishing that all the parts of the brains are talking to each other without being filtered through your prefrontal cortex, which, where in my opinion the ego resides. But it allows PTSD sufferers to actually face their fears with their brain being active,
Mm.
which, from the studies that were done at, what's the name of the university? It's
Um, there's a book I bought. I don't know his name. I don't want to butcher his name on the live air, but he worked closely with Jada Pinkett. And Jada Pinkett hosts the show The Red Table, and they are avid mushroom backers. But I know that there's some legislation that's being um, I think it's going to pass so that mushrooms can be used to help with depression and help with PTSD. The founder of GoDaddy, the huge .com tech
mhm.
company, he is one of the main funders of the research for psychedelics, and he microdoses actually. Um,
I've been microdose. I've been doing my own pills for years.
yep,
It's something that I do 4 times a week. I follow Paul Stamets' principle, Monday to Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. But I've been microdosing forever.
right.
It's, if you're like me and you have ADHD, microdosing does help with concentrating your mind. It's absolutely amazing for the people
Yes.
that've never tried it. It's tiny doses. I normally do zero point 0.1 gram, so 100
Hmm.
milligram basically,
Yep.
and 4 times a week. And it doesn't buzz, it doesn't give you a feeling, it doesn't give you euphoria, but it kind of mellows everything. If you're like me, that your brain never stops working, it's a godsend. Those microdosing is great,
And
absolutely great.
it's a natural, it's a mushroom. It's natural. It's not
Yep.
pharmaceutical.
And it's not addictive either. It doesn't create an addiction. And it's, this is why it's illegal, because there's no money to be made really with this, and everybody
Hmm.
can just grow it at home. This is why you
Exactly.
see the pharmaceutical companies don't want this to be legal, because how, imagine the day that they start allowing PTSD sufferers to, and people that are on their deathbed that are going through cancer. I wanted my dad, when he went through cancer, to actually do it. And it's one of the things that's life changing. It absolutely changed your perspective. i've I've been in the presence of God. Do you
Yeah.
really think I'm scared of dying? Death does not scare me at all. I don't want to say I'm looking forward to it,
Right.
but I'm kind of looking forward to it, but not really. If that, because I know what's there. Life is a beauty. See, maybe that's why. You know what? Maybe that's why I lived my life the way I live it, because what's the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to die. And I'm going to live a psychedelic trip for eternity until they decide to bring me back here. But until then, I'll be able to just trip for a long time.
So one of the things that you're very strong, have a very strong thought process on, is that through meditation and visualization, and self hypnosis, anyone can
Mhm.
strengthen their connection. But I want to know, how do you use? You've been successful in business. How do you use meditation, visualization, and self hypnosis in your day to day business?
Visualization is easy. I've been writing my goals for. You've read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I've seen that book. I hadn't read it yet.
You should. But there's a part where he speaks about um, how to kind of self hypnose yourself
Hmm.
through visualization, because there is a connection between your subconscious mind and your mind.
Hmm.
Subconscious mind normally talks to you through your dreams, and it's normally a mix of what you've experienced already. But what the average person doesn't know is that your subconscious mind's job is to do the mundane tasks that your brain does not need to think about. Let's say a door handle is the perfect example. If a door handle is where it should be, you'll never have to look at it. It's only when you go for the door handle, it's not there. You're like, okay, this is weird. But this is because your subconscious mind is so used, it has automated so many of your daily process because it knows what matters to you and what doesn't.
You know,
Grabbing a
one of
handle,
those mundane tasks is to keep us breathing and keep all our
ex-
organs pumping.
exactly, exactly. And through self hypnosis, you can talk to your subconscious mind. So,
Yes.
so let's
Yes.
say my goal setting. So, right now, every year until I reach my goal, I will repeat it twice daily, first thing in the morning, first thing at night. And the way it's formulated, I have something that I want that's tangible. I give myself a specific amount of time. I say what I'm ready to do and how am I going to achieve it, and what are my sacrifice? What am I ready to give up in order to get there?
Yes.
So every day I repeat myself at least twice a day, in the morning, at night. But you need to feel it. I can tell you what I'm wearing, what it smells like when I succeed. I can tell you who's there, where I am. It's the brighter the image that you can form in your head, the easier it becomes. But the whole point is to tell your subconscious mind what you want. I don't worry about the how. I don't care about the how. I know what my goal is. I'll repeat myself what it is so often that I know that it has already happened. It's just a matter of time until I get there, until I meet the present that it happened. My goals are already all done. So this is how self hypnosis is so important. Just repeat yourself and believe it like it's already happened.
So,
That
so Nico, are you implementing some of these? I know we know that you're a coach, also a life coach, a business coach, I presume, and whatever else people need for you to coach them on. So are you using some of these principles with people to move them in a place where they're trying to be or trying to go?
It's an interesting question because one thing that I found out over coaching people is that a lot of people that want coaching don't want to necessarily do the work, and
Yeah,
a lot of people that want to do the work are not
yeah,
necessarily open to new ideas. So
yeah,
I would be what you call a workaholic, if you will. And one of the things that most people are not ready to do is things that society has not accepted to be real. So
yeah.
if I tell somebody that's never done psychedelics and I'm like, bro, I can teach you how to access a database of information where you can extract any answers you have ever wanted. Whatever you want, it's there. I can teach you how to get there. They think I'm absolutely nuts. If I say to someone, start repeating your goals out loud like a crazy person, morning and night. Do it as soon as you don't need a piece of paper to repeat it, then it belongs to you.
Hmm.
Then you memorized it, your subconscious mind knows it, and I guarantee you that that goal will happen. Those type of things will make people back away from most coaching programs, and it's okay because at the end of the day, I don't want to help everybody. I don't waste my time on people, only the people that wants to do the work because it's hard work.
The right
But
client.
yep, Yeah, absolutely. But the doors that it opens, the day that you free up your mind from, see, this is what puzzles me and I'll never understand is 99.9% of people will never achieve their goals. They will never achieve their dream. They will never live their purpose. They will die regretting their life. I'm the
Yes.
guy that lives his life to the fullest. I literally left a six-figure job, cashed everything that I had, put it into a bank account, and all I've been doing is investing in my businesses since then. I built a situation where I cannot go back. It's either there's no failing. I will not fail. There's no way I can fail. It's only going to work. This is how much faith I have in what I do, and I'm the crazy person. See, this is what amazes me. I'm in El Paso right now as a Canadian. I'm on the complete opposite side of North America.
Right.
I did it with my girlfriend, my dog, while running a business. I'm looking to hire my fifth full-time employee now. I've hired 5 people within the past three
Outstanding.
months. So, and I
Outstanding.
and I'm the crazy person.
Right.
I'm the
And you're crazy.
yeah.
I
But
love it,
see,
Nico.
this is my point. This baffles me. If I look at people that are crazy and I'm like, oh shit, I have a lot in common with those people. The way they think, the way they do, I'm like, uh-oh. So maybe I am crazy. But it's unfortunate that there's not more crazy people, crazy enough to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams.
I applaud you. Author, a successful podcast. We hadn't talked about, speaking. What kind of speaking do you do out there?
I used to be a sales engineer, so presentations is something I do every day.
Gotcha.
But I did my first men's conference 2 weekends ago. I met
Mhm.
somebody through a podcast like we're doing right now.
Oh,
By
wow.
the end of the podcast, he's like, "Hey, bro, you need to come up. We're having a show in Seattle. Unfortunately, all the keynote speakers have been booked. Like it's been booked for months, right?"
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, "No problem." I looked. I have a bunch of points on my credit card, so I look at one of the flights. It was like $250. I'm like, to go to a men's conference, I'll go. No problem, I'll go. So I sent him my information. Within an hour, he comes back to me. He's like, bro, I opened the spot. I gave my spot away just so that you can host. So I just showed up there. I started it all. And, I got to say that I was about the only one that does not have a TED Talk. A lot of the guys that were presenting all had TED Talks. So it's a humbling experience that after 12 years of sales, I can still go on stage and say, holy shit, I have a lot to learn.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
man, I presented on the Friday. The guys presented. There's a guy that presented on Friday, 6 that presented on Saturday. They dropped us off at the airport. I think it was 2 a.m. I worked from 2 a.m. to 12 a.m. on a presentation. I built a 35-page presentation because I'm like, I need some work. So
Wow.
it's inspiring. I see, this is another thing for the people that are out there. If you want to be successful, whatever it might be, surround yourself that are smarter than you, surround yourself
Yes.
with people that are more successful than you, that know more than you.
Yes.
Look for mentors, look for people that will actually help you grow. If you're the smartest people in your group, you're not in the right group. Change group, find more people, find people that will challenge you. Because most people would have seen what happened to me 2 weeks ago as demoralizing. They're like, holy shit, I was the worst there. In my head, I'm like, there's one of the guys that had a TED talk and he was the best speaker there, came up to me afterwards, like, bro, I think you're good for a TED talk. And we're going to do some work. Him and I, we stayed in touch and we're going to start working on some projects together. But that's just because I took a chance and I went.
And it's all about taking chances. And when you're
Yep.
coaching people, you're trying to have them to have that same mindset. But if they're not committed,
Mm,
let's just even say financially, you got to be committed
yep.
on that side. But if
Yep.
you hadn't
Yep.
told yourself, I am ready to make a change,
Hmm.
don't bother with high level guys like you and
Nope.
guys that are out here that really, really can help you move into a
Yep.
different space in your life. But Nico, it was great to have you. Do you have any parting words that you want to say to the audience? You have any sort of gifts on the website that they can come and check out and check you out?
The website's being redone. It should be finished by the end of next week. So I'm looking forward to that. But all I would say to the people out there is, can I swear? I was just going to swear. Listen, for all the people that are out there, screw what people think. Don't listen to what other people tell you. small-minded people. Don't listen to small-minded people. If you
Yes.
believe that you're meant for greatness, go after it. Be ready to understand that the path to greatness is a solitary path. So all those little minds around you, don't worry about it. They're just background noise. So do you. If you believe you have it in yourself, just do you. Screw what people think.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I want you to hang out in the back office. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the show up.
Yeah, man.
We've hit our mark. And so hang out with me for me one moment, Nico. Fabulous. Nico Lagan. This guy is incredible. But when we talk about expansion of consciousness, we talk about all the things, the infinite abilities we possess from within. Look at how Nico has used hypnosis, how Nico has used meditation, how he has used a lot of different techniques to move him into different purposes in his life. And he says it very, very, very clearly in one of his quotes: without purpose, a man's life is meaningless. And I want to thank you guys for watching another episode of Expansion of Consciousness. And we will see you again here in the next episode. We're going to have somebody very special for you. But thank you very much for tuning in. And hey, listen, make sure that you click like and make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to Expansion of Consciousness, at Expansion of Consciousness on YouTube. Once again, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys later.